Ever feel like you're drowning in stress? If you do, you're not alone. Get this. In the UK, a massive 74% of adults recently said they've been so overwhelmed by stress, they just couldn't cope. That's 3 out of every 4 people. Crazy, right? Now, what if I told you the secret to handling that awful, crushing feeling, to finding some calm and control, isn't some trendy new quick fix, but an ancient philosophy that was literally born out of chaos? 1. The unseen storm. Introducing the character and the problem. Let's meet Alex. Alex could be you, me, pretty much anyone. Imagine this. Alex's day kicks off before sunrise, thanks to an alarm clock that sounds like a drill sergeant. And bam! The thoughts start racing. Deadlines, bills, packing school lunches, that awkward chat they've been putting off. Then comes the commute. A concert of car horns and endless red lights, each one just cranking up the frustration. Work? Oh, it's an avalanche of emails, meetings that really should have just been emails, and that never-ending push to do more, be more, get more done. And that quick scroll through social media at lunch. It's like watching everyone else's perfect life on repeat, which honestly just makes Alex feel, well, not good enough. Evenings aren't much of a break either. There are always chores, family needs attention, and the news. It just paints this picture of a world that feels more and more chaotic, and let's be real, scary. So, Alex is always on edge, jumping at every little thing. A spilled coffee? Morning ruined. A harsh word from the boss? Hello, self-doubt spiral. Sleep? Good luck with that when your brain refuses to hit the off switch. It's this constant, nagging anxiety, like being a passenger in your own life, just getting thrown around by whatever happens next. And it's not just exhausting, it's crushing the life out of you. The joy just fades, replaced by this steady hum of stress and a deep wish for things to just slow down, for a moment of peace, a tiny bit of control. This isn't just Alex's story, is it? For so many of us, this is the soundtrack to our lives. In fact, the American Psychological Association's 2023 Stress in America report pointed out that adults between 35 and 44 are seeing way more mental health diagnoses since 2019. The pressure is real. 2. The stumble towards stillness, the turning point discovery. So, Alex hit a wall. Another night staring at the ceiling, another morning feeling like they were trying to run through quicksand. Everything just felt too heavy. You know those days where it feels like the universe is out to get you? A missed deadline because the computer died, an unexpected bill, a fight with someone close. Alex was totally adrift, like a little boat in a huge storm. No anchor, no oars. Then something changed. Not in a big, flashy way. No sudden lightning bolt. It was much quieter. Alex was in a local bookstore, a rare, quiet moment, trying to get away from all the noise, both outside and inside their head. A book title jumped out, something about ancient wisdom for today's problems. Alex was skeptical, but also desperate, so they bought it. Later that week, stuck in a monster traffic jam, Alex was listening to a podcast, and the host started talking about Stoicism. The name rang a bell. Wasn't that about old dudes in togas? But then the host explained a key idea, so simple but so powerful it was like a light switching on in Alex's foggy brain, the dichotomy of control. Basically, philosophers like Epictetus said that some things are up to us, and some things just aren't. Our thoughts, how we see things, the choices we make, what we do, that's our department. Everything else, the traffic, the weather, what other people think, the economy, what happened yesterday, what might happen tomorrow, nope, not in our control. Sounds almost too easy, right? But for Alex, who'd been trying to control every single part of their chaotic life, this was huge. The idea that they didn't have to manage everything, that most things were beyond their control, felt like a massive weight had just been lifted. What if, instead of fighting losing battles against things they couldn't change, the real power was in mastering their own mind? This wasn't about giving up or not caring. It was about putting energy where it counts. This was the lifeline Alex desperately needed but hadn't known how to find. 3. Unpacking the ancient secret, explaining the principle and its application. So, what's this dichotomy of control all about, really? At its core, it's about getting super clear on things. The Stoics, guys like Epictetus, Seneca, and Marcus Aurelius, weren't just ivory tower thinkers. They were practical folks, offering a real guide to living a good, calm life, even when things around you are nuts. They taught that most of our suffering doesn't come from what happens to us, but from what we tell ourselves about what happens. And those stories we tell ourselves, those are up to us. Think about it. You get caught in a massive downpour, no umbrella. You can't stop the rain, right? That's out of your hands. But you can control how you react. You could curse the sky, get furious, and let it wreck your day. Or you could just accept you're getting soaked, maybe even laugh about it, and focus on finding shelter or just dealing with it. The rain's the same, but your experience? Totally different, and it all comes down to your internal response. So Alex started trying this out. That awful morning commute. The traffic was still a nightmare, not Alex's to control. But instead of stewing in anger, Alex started using that time to listen to audiobooks or podcasts about Stoicism, or even just practiced some deep breathing, things Alex could control. The traffic didn't magically disappear, but Alex's experience of it totally transformed. At work, when a project hit a snag because a supplier messed up, again out of Alex's control, the old Alex would have freaked out, probably pointed fingers and stressed big time. The new Alex, thinking about the dichotomy of control, took a breath. Okay, the mistake happened. What can I control here? How I solve this, how I talk to the team about it, how much effort I put into fixing it, and staying professional. The focus switched from the problem they couldn't change to the response they could. This idea is like a mental filter. Before you react to something, ask yourself, is this something I can control or not? If it's not, then wasting emotional energy trying to change it is pointless, like trying to order the ocean around. Instead, put that energy into your own thoughts and actions. Like Marcus Aurelius said, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. And hey, this isn't about bottling up your emotions or turning into some kind of emotionless robot. Stoicism is about understanding your emotions, noticing them, and then choosing a smart, decent response instead of just being carried away by them. It's about responding thoughtfully, not just reacting impulsively. This often leads to other Stoic habits that come from this core idea. Cognitive reframing. This is about actively changing how you look at things. Instead of, this is a total disaster, try, okay, this is a surprise challenge, but what can I learn from it? It's a lot like techniques used in cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT, which actually has its roots in Stoic thinking. Pause and reflect. When you feel yourself getting angry or frustrated, just create a little space before you say or do anything. Take a breath. This gives your thinking brain a chance to catch up with your first emotional reaction. Focus on virtue. No matter what's going on around you or how you're feeling, try to act with wisdom, fairness, courage, and self-control. Your character is built by your actions, not by stuff you can't control. Alex found that by sticking with this one core idea, those knots of anxiety started to loosen. It wasn't that the world suddenly got easier. It was that Alex's way of dealing with the world changed. 4. The quiet revolution, the transformation and results. The change in Alex wasn't like someone flicked a switch. Nope, it was more like a slow sunrise, gradually lighting up a world that had felt dark. By practicing this dichotomy of control, day in and day out, little by little, Alex started to find these pockets of calm, even when life was still its usual brand of chaotic. That constant humming anxiety, it started to fade. Situations that used to send Alex spiraling now felt, well, manageable. That scary email from a client. Instead of instant panic, Alex would pause, notice the feeling, and then break it down. Okay, what part of this is useful feedback? What part is just their opinion, which I can't control? And what's a calm, professional way I can respond? There was this one day, a huge presentation Alex had spent weeks on suddenly got moved up by a whole day. Total schedule meltdown. The old Alex would have been a complete mess, stressed, snappy, expecting the worst. But the new Alex took a deep breath. All right, they thought, this deadline change is out of my hands. Freaking out won't change a thing. What can I do? I can rejig my to-do list. I can ask my colleagues for a hand. I can just focus on doing the absolute best job I can with the time I've got. The stress was still there, sure, but it wasn't crushing anymore. It felt like a challenge they could tackle, not some disaster they just had to suffer through. This is that unexpected reservoir of calm and control those old Stoics were talking about. It's not like life suddenly got easy or all the stress disappeared. All the usual pressures, the daily hassles, the world being unpredictable, that stuff was all still happening. But Alex's inner world had changed. There was this new feeling of being solid inside, knowing that even if storms were raging outside, they didn't have to sink the ship internally. And this inner change started to show on the outside too. Alex became a better listener, less likely to snap back in conversations. Decisions felt clearer because they were coming from a place of thought, not fear or anger. Relationships got better because Alex wasn't dumping stress on the people they cared about. There was just more headspace, more ability to be present. Even sleep got better because Alex's mind wasn't up all night fighting battles it couldn't win. It was a quiet revolution, all happening on the inside. Alex figured out that real control isn't about forcing the world to do what you want, but about mastering your own mind. It's realizing that while you don't always get to choose what happens to you, you always get to choose how you respond. And in that choice, that's where you find your power, your peace, and your freedom. This whole journey didn't just bring calm, it brought a real sense of being strong and capable. 5. Your turn at the helm. Broader application, takeaway for viewer. Now, Alex's story. It's not some one-off, and this ancient wisdom isn't locked away for a select few. It's there for every single one of us right now. You are watching this, can tap into that very same calm and control. That main idea, the dichotomy of control, is wonderfully simple and super practical. So how can you start using this in your own life, like today? Here are a couple of things you can try, straight from the Stoic playbook. 1. The daily control check-in. First thing in the morning, or anytime you feel that stress bubbling up, just pause for a second. Ask yourself, in this situation, what can I actually control? And what's totally out of my hands? Maybe even jot it down if that helps. Be honest. You're in charge of your effort, your attitude, your choices, how you react. You're not in charge of the result, how other people react, or all those other things happening out there. Once you know what's yours, really focus your energy only on those things. Let the rest go. The Stoics weren't saying don't care about outside stuff, but to care in the right way. by focusing on your part, what you can do. 2. Try premeditatio malorum, or a light version of thinking about what could go wrong. Okay, this sounds a bit doom and gloom, but trust me, it's amazingly helpful. Briefly think about a few things that might go sideways during your day. A tricky meeting, your computer freezing, an unexpected delay. Then, picture yourself handling these things calmly and rationally, using that dichotomy of control. How would you act if you were just focused on your response, on being your best self? This isn't about moping or expecting the worst. It's like a mental rehearsal for being resilient. So if something challenging does pop up, you're not totally blindsided. You've already thought about how to handle it with your cool intact. Remember, Stoicism is a practice. It's not like you read about it and suddenly you're a Zen master overnight. It takes consistent, mindful effort. Some days you'll absolutely crush it. Other days, you'll slip back into old habits of reacting without thinking, and that's totally okay. The trick is to just gently guide yourself back, over and over, to that key question: what's up to me? When you focus on your own thoughts and actions, you take back your power from all the chaos. You build this kind of inner fortress, a calm, strong place inside you that outside events can't easily shake. Look, Stoicism isn't promising a life with zero problems, because let's be honest, that kind of life just isn't real. What it does promise is that you can handle any problem with wisdom, guts, and a sense of peace. When you really get and use that one simple but incredibly deep idea, focusing on what you can control, your thoughts, your actions, and letting go of what you can't, you tap into a serious kind of power. The power to stay calm, to keep control of yourself. No matter what life decides to throw at you, you can become that steady, unshakable person you want to be. So, if this whole idea of finding calm with Stoicism clicks with you, and if Alex's story felt familiar, do me a favor and hit that like button. It genuinely helps the channel out a bunch. And if you want to explore more timeless wisdom for living a more deliberate and peaceful life, subscribe and ding that notification bell so you don't miss what's coming up. Now, I'm curious to hear from you. What's one thing in your life right now where you feel like you're fighting to control something that's out of your hands? Or maybe you've tried some Stoic ideas before. How did it go for you? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Let's all learn a bit from each other. Thanks so much for watching.